Today we finish up the areas around the river rapids. I'm Mostly Average Matt, and this is Planet Coaster, Hackberry Hills. Hello and happy Monday, everyone, and welcome back to Hackberry Hills. We have an exciting episode. I know the title says so close, but I just want to say that it's done. There's some minor stuff that we need to take care of, like some lighting in the cave and whatnot, but I think it's done enough that we're gonna take a ride on the river rapids here. At the end, I covered up a lot of the unfinished areas, and I think it looks pretty good. So what we start working on here at the beginning is a little boat dock, and this would be necessary because they need to have a way if something happens with the wall to the river rapids that's out along the water, so they need to get a boat in there so they could go out and work. And I struggle a little bit with it because you can see it very, very clearly through the water. So I was trying a few different things. I delete the water, I completely change everything to rock underneath, which kind of makes it better. Then I throw some dirt in, and I was just really unsure of how it was all going to work. And eventually, I think I added some wood pieces just to kind of try and hide some of the hard concrete edges. And I think it works. You wouldn't typically see wood, I don't think, underneath along the concrete here, but it works for this scenario or this situation. So I'm pretty happy with it. When we stop paying attention to it after this episode, it shouldn't be that bad. I was also trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this path, and I go a few different ways with the curb, the in-game curb, pieces of wood, and then I finally finish up on some rocks. But I was moving around quite a bit because I just could not. I was struggling to come up with some creative ideas that was going to work for this area. So we bounce around, we go out, we finish up this little dock, we duplicate it, throw it on the other side. I think we add some boats, and then we come back and add in rocks on the waterfront side, and it turned out better than I expected. I'm very happy with it. So here we are, just finishing up the duplication, and you can already see that it looks much better now with the two docks on the side. You can't really see the hard edge underneath. The one piece of wood that we put down there also kind of blends in a little bit better than just the concrete ending. So we do add some boats in here. I do delete one of each boat, and we just have to pretend that steamboat that we're recoloring right now is a maintenance boat. You wouldn't necessarily see one that has a roof like that on it, but we just have to pretend. We do a little bit of lighting. We put some lights up there because you would want to have excessive lighting for that area, but we turn the lights off because you wouldn't have. They'd be for like the maintenance crew, and they would just flip them on when they need them. They wouldn't be on during the day or when the ride is operating. So we turn those off, and they're just there just in case. But we leave the other lights on by the boat dock just to light it up a little bit. And then, like I said, we go and we add some rocks. We do a little rock border because that's pretty simple. And then we start to go crazy with rocks, trees, bushes, the whole 9 yards here. And I went absolutely insane. This part's not too bad because there were small areas that I had to cover. So we do certainly add in some bushes. We go with there's a creosote, I think that's how you say it, bush. We start adding a ton of those in. and just kind of make it seem a little bit more of like a wooded area. Oh, I forgot I recolored this too, and added little wood pieces just to kind of break it up a little bit. But I've got to finish some lighting because I forget to do that all the time. Struggle to reset the wood so we don't have any clipping, and back to it. Alright, yeah, that was a great little detour we did. Oh no, we're not done yet. We even add in some ropes here, and then we lift up the pieces that they're hanging on, and we even find a use for the lift here, which I was like, oh, that's kind of actually like the perfect height for that, so let's go ahead and throw that in. Which I think is somewhat realistic, so why not? And then here, like I said, we're adding in those creosote bushes, we're adding in forest bushes, little leafy green bushes. Didn't like the color of that one, so we took that out. Add in a few trees, just to kind of give it a little bit of height to block out some of the area. Finish up the part over by the river rapid ride in the boat dock. Do a little bit of terrain, and then we go crazy. Oh no, we're not. We start to. Boy, I jumped around everywhere in this episode. Like I can't remember. Now we go up. We start to smooth out this a little bit. I didn't really like the height on it, so we just kind of backed it down a little bit. Add in a few rocks that you end up not being able to see at all. Because I started to fall in love with the oak tree, and sinking that in, and it basically looks like one giant bush. So we take heavily wooded to a new level. We do add in some smaller bushes just to kind of break it up and give us a little bit of different color in there. Like I said, those creosote bushes, which are those like brown, like broken twig things, and then we go crazy with the oak trees. So all of a sudden now we have huge, thick oak tree bushes. We add in some random trees just to add in a little bit of height, make it look like a forest. Finish this up, add a few more bushes just to kind of fill in some of the areas that didn't look quite right. Biggest thing that I wanted to do is make sure that we leave that path available, and we do a quick walk through of that later, and it's just a maintenance path, so nothing too crazy. We do finish up the curbing on this area that leads to the entrance of the River Rapids ride, which is really didn't want to do that at all. So we found the will to do it. We added a bunch of rocks. I don't think we added any oak trees because I think it was a little bit too big. Maybe we do one, or maybe we go with the marula, which is also a good one for that. But yeah, they're just so... Oh, we did do a couple. There's just so much that we do in terms of shrubbery and foliage and everything. So I did a quick little speed through there just to make sure everything looked pretty decent. We even take a quick ride on the river rapids to make sure it's good, and then I come back up here to the top of the cave, and I was trying to figure out, because the original idea, have some of that water coming down in through the hole that goes into the cave, and I couldn't picture it. I didn't think it was going to look right. So we bring down the height of the top of the cave on the outside. And now that I think about it, I never actually walked into the cave, so we may have some trees that we'll have to adjust. But I kind of fix up the outside, do some terrain painting, and just start going crazy with some bushes. Trying not to dive too deep into the cave, because it would obviously show up down there then. And we didn't need it to be super thick up here. No one's going to be able to see up here. So we spin the camera around like crazy, uh, and then just add a few trees and we'll move on. Now, this corner though, you can see pretty much everything. So we get our oak trees, we sink them down, we use different versions of them, we vary their heights a little bit, and then we add in some other trees around them to break them up, and this creates the best foliage wall I have ever seen from trees. You can't see through except for maybe like a small peak here and there, and you'll really see that when we start to do we do a quick like speed through in real time a little bit later in the video, so you'll see that a lot. The last thing we wanted to do is to finish up the bank on the other side of the river rapids, so over by the treetop cabins, if you will. And you know, I the same theme happens. I try and put in a bunch of rocks, I put in a bunch of bushes, and then I get tired of it and go for the oak trees, put a whole bunch of those in, put a whole bunch of marula trees in, add in some of the pine trees that stick out over top. Try not to block the view of any of the cabins, but we did actually block one, so we had to we actually fixed that off camera, and it's fine. I mean, you guys didn't need to see that. It was just me moving one tree, so it does look really good, and I'm really happy with it. We also off camera, so over by the one of the last turns, once you're up on the top of the lift hill, we had the little play area things where you would press the button and it would shoot water on people, and I had them labeled with numbers because of the different area. And here's actually our walkthrough, but we'll come back to that quick here. I removed the numbers because it just didn't, there was no need. You didn't have to associate it. You knew where yours was coming out. It's right below you. So you can certainly see though, here we do this walk through this little path. We'll dress it up from the path a little bit more, but you can just walk right up here. There's the gate, so guests can't get through. It is a maintenance way as well. But you can also see here that we added a little steam effect off to the left that is just constantly running. You can also see we did remove the numbers, like I said, and you know, it kind of brought the whole area together to get those extra trees over and around the top. We do get a really nice view off this bridge looking down towards the beginning of the attraction. I just love that look, and I don't know why I didn't make it the screenshot, probably because I found another really good one. But you look down and all you see is this wall of trees. And yes, it is a little excessive. But honestly, I don't plan for anything to be over there, so we're just gonna leave it there. And then you have the wall that's on the bank over here. So we are quickly running out of time-lapse footage. So like I said, we do have a POV, so I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one. Later.